Okay, we're working on the Philco Predicta. We're going to replace the picture tube with a new old stock 21-inch RCA Sylvania original stock Philco tube for the Philco, made by RCA and Sylvania. And we'll show you the box that is coming in a minute. But I pulled the gold trim off of the picture tube cover, and now we're going to pull this metal strap that holds the front lens and the hood together. We'll pull that apart. We're pull the rest of the cover off here, the rear picture tube cover, Philco Predicta, and we'll pull the lead loose from the picture tube there. So this should just pull off from both sides. There are two screws on each side. Turn it around there. I don't know that you can see it right there. One on each side that holds this strap in place. And when that strap comes off, it all just kind of falls apart. So we'll pull this strap off. And the lens cover comes off. And incidentally, I'm sure you can see that on the camera. Notice the chalking. This material was actually produced by Kodak Company from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and it smells rancid. It actually smells like vomit, and that's normal for this material. I'm not kidding that it smells like vomit. That's it. The material has a I can't think of the right word, but it has the properties that produce this film, and it has to be cleaned on a regular basis in order to allow the picture to come through. So if you look through here, you can see how foggy it is. It's no wonder the tube is so dim. And when I repaired this once before and replaced this picture tube, this was cleaned with car wax, and it was not perfectly clear, but it was pretty clear. And you'll see later when we go to clean this, you'll see the difference that it makes. And there's bugs in here. There are stink bugs, which are pretty bad for this part of the country. So here's the picture tube, the face of the picture tube, and it even has, you can see, a film on it, so which also deteriorates the picture. Before we pull the tube out, I'm going to plug it in and let you see the difference between what the tube looks like with the filmy cover on it and without the filmy cover. I should be able to get a picture here on the set. While we're waiting for them to warm up, notice this fan I put on here to kind of help cool the system. It makes a big difference in the life of the tubes and the resistors. The higher wattage resistors keeps them cool.
that's what you can never ignore, is the fact that Michaela Schifrin and other elite skiers in the world, like Wendy Holder, who we're going to see in a little bit, they rarely ski out. They rarely miss an opportunity. They're there just
not too bad.
Time after time.
Actually, it's a lot better than what I expected, to be honest with you. So, look at the difference.
This is very good skiing.
So this tube actually is not nearly as bad as I thought it was. This is what I was looking at, and this is what it's actually able to produce. And this is dirty. We've got, there we go.
Not a single medal turned in by the home country at these Worlds.
Plenty of brightness.
Zappenberg is probably going to have the top time if she can hang on here.
It's these 3 turns. If she's clean, she's got it. Yes.
Can't read the text very well.
From Sweden, Zappenberg.
It's hard to read with a moving camera like that, but
Just 24 years old, only has 30 World Cup starts under her belt.
This is what
let's change channels.
steeped in. It's slalom skiers. They have small hills, as I was mentioning earlier. And for the longest time, 2013, 14, 15, they were the #1 women's slalom team.
Okay, change channels to Me TV.
Do you think you can handle it without the marshal? We're willing to chance it.
Now,
That's all.
this
Big
noise
Fred said.
is
And with
this noise is my television transmitter here in the shack. There, it's a little softer picture. I should be able to get rid of that noise. Right now we don't even have an antenna hooked up. If you'll look at the back of the set, you'll see there's not even an antenna hooked up to the set. It's just got the connector there for an antenna. I guess I could hook these up, and this is the internal antenna right here, antenna wires, and switch it to internal. But in any case, we still have a lot of noise in the transmitter, producing a lot of noise. But that's not a fault of the television. That's an issue with the channel that the reception. So there's the picture tube. A little better picture. Not too shabby.
5871 to learn more.
I'll be surprised to see, once again, compare the text quality with the blurry cover. Makes a big difference, that blurry cover.
With Cigna Health Spring, you get more coverage at a low cost, plus a team to help guide you.
So, we're going to replace this tube, and I'm certainly going to save this tube because I got a feeling that this tube is, while it is a little slow to come on, which showing its age and its poor emission, it's obviously still a salvageable tube. So I'll hang on to it. I'll put it back in the box and hang on to it and get some use out of it in the years to come. So we'll go from there. We've got quite a bit of work yet to do. We've got to take this strap loose, pull the tube out, disconnect all the wires, the high voltage lead, the power connect, the tube socket connectors, and the yoke has to be pulled off of the tube. So we'll get started on that. Alrighty, we've got the tube free from the yoke. The yoke is laying down there, as you can see. All we've got left is the anode. Bring it back up just a little bit. And what we're going to do is pinch the anode leads. Pull Pull it out. There we go. Worth its weight in gold. Definitely worth its weight in gold. Those things are so hard to find. We're going to hook this one up to a tube tester and just to see what emission value it has. I'm just curious, but there you go, 21 inch, 2021, the model number, for those that know any difference, 21 FDP4. So let's see what the new tube looks like. We'll pull it out of the box and we'll put this one back in its place. Okay, we ended up pulling this back cover off of the frame, and I think we can put the set the new tube back in place. Got to handle this yoke very carefully because it's fragile, and we'll set the new tube in its thing and tie it down with these screws here, and reassemble the yoke and the connector, the socket. There's the anode connector, and should be able to just test it without even putting the cover on. We'll see if that will work correctly. We're going to try it that way anyway. Okay, I said RCA Sylvania. It's Silverama, not Sylvania. RCA Silverama picture tube, 21 FDP4, and this that was in there, same tube, 21 FDP4. And this is the original box, as you can see. RCA, beautiful. Beautiful original box. And David Weddington shipped this to me, and this is how he shipped it. He is so thorough. You just can't go wrong with somebody like that. And he was so thorough. He double shipped this. Actually, this was shipped inside another UPS box. And so I'm going to try to do this without dumping peanuts all over the shack. But you can see it's an original shipping box. The neck of the tube comes up through here. It's amazing that they can actually ship them. So there's the neck of the tube. So let's see. I don't know. I'm going to make a mess. I got a feeling. Maybe I ought to try to pull these peanuts into a bag. Let's do that. I'll be right back. All right. So we got the peanuts out of the box. And, of course, those were not the original shipping. The original shipping was just a cardboard frame. So there we have new old stock picture tube, and it was hooked up to a set in Murfreesboro to test it to make sure it was working before David shipped it to me. So this will have to go into there. So what we're going to do is set the camera up so that we can both handle this without worrying about it dropping it or damaging the neck of the tube. So we'll set the camera up, or we'll get it set in here and then hook it all up on camera. yoke. The ground strap or anti-static strap. We won't tighten this because we've got to align the picture, straighten the picture, but we'll snug it. Tube, interestingly enough, the neck appears to be, maybe not, I was going to say it's a little smaller. These are convergence alignment magnets for to adjust the squareness of the picture and all of that. So this tube, since it's an original tube, I don't see a voltage rating on it. They were like 2.68 or 2.38 whatever volt filament voltage, and then they changed them to a 6 volt, and there wasn't any required change in the electrical setup of the rate of the filament voltage. It only uses what it needs to for the amount of current that it needs to operate. So there we go. We're back in business. We'll see if this is aligned correctly. We'll fire it up here and make sure this is all the way up. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we're going to just fire it up. And Jesse, if you want to hang on to that right there while I plug it in and turn it on. Or not. You may want to come around to the front of the set. And we'll see if we even have a picture. Okay, we're ready. Okay, we got a filament on the picture tube.
Why suffer a second longer than you need to? $14.95 is all it takes to get started.
Oh my, yeah.
This is a limited time offer not found in any
Nice and clear.
Get ready to feel better, move better, and live better. Call or go online now to try the Teeter Fit Spine. Call 1-800-321-2147. That's 1-800-321-2147. Or go to getteeter.com.
Now we'll move the, I'll hook up the alignment. We've got some magnet issues we got to correct here. And that magnet we were looking at earlier, you see how it affects the picture. I pull it out, squares it up.
What are they doing in there, Mr. Pettibone?
Well, Sonny, they're trying to make a casting. It's the 9th time we've tried.
Well, how do you make a casting?
Well,
What we're going to do is we're going to hook up the TV analyzer up here, and we're going to run a signal straight into the set so that we have a good clean signal instead of trying to do over the air. And we'll get it aligned a little straighter. So we got a nice clean picture. And if I get it tuned just right without all the noise, you can see it's just as crisp as it can be. Pretty well see the lettering.
It's the only liquid I have. This is not what you had to make up, isn't it?
going to give one to everyone who buys stock in the company.
You boys like one of these?
All right, let's hook up the analyzer. Okay, got our test tone. I'll turn it down. I've got a little bit of noise on the wiring. That's what this hash is here, as you can see, and I'm sure you can see that in the video. Okay, so let's go to just slightly out of tune. There's the color staircase. We'll get it aligned right. This should be black and this should just be about white. Okay. I think this actually might be a computer. Let me just try something here. Just curious. I'm going to unplug this computer. No, didn't make a difference that time. Try one more thing here. Sometimes these LEDs and all of this stuff in the room just wreaks havoc on all of this RF that's in here. Got ham radio gear over here. Of course, none of it's running, but I've got LED lights all over. Got LED lights up here on top. So, I mean, your LED lights just create all kinds of noise. But, picture's stable. Here's the color bars. Obviously, we can't tell any color bars. There is another color. You know, making a few little changes that you can come around back and you can see that just the change of this magnet here influences. And then of course the yoke, I'm moving the whole yoke, and I'll move it back and forth and you can come back around front and see what it does to the picture. So the idea is we've got to get that lined up. And we can adjust that from the back of the set if we have to, with everything put back together. I'm standing too close to really. And we also have a linearity issue. You notice it's the shape of an egg. So I need to adjust the linearity just a little bit. And again, I will adjust that once I get the set put back together. So right now, mainly what I need to adjust is just this, get this pretty close. This adjustment, and we'll go reassemble the entire cover, and we'll go from there. I'm going to leave it right there. So let's go to crosshatch. Got a little bit of warp right here, you can see on the tube. Just a little bit of warp on the edge. I had a guy tell me years ago he didn't bother messing with aligning a set like this because part of the charm of the set was the stretched forehead of the actors. Their heads would their foreheads would be up like this tall when they got up on a close up, and they all looked like they had brains. So you can see we still have a linearity issue here. This is squished at the top. So we'll try and adjust that one more time with the crosshatch this time. There is a focus adjustment, but it is a wire setting. So let's test that real quick. There's no pot for the focus. All it uses is a single wire that pulls, if you want to look here, there's a single wire right here that's either grounded, which is currently grounded, or connected to, I think it's called boost, so or completely disconnected. So let's look at the bottom wire, and I'm going to switch it from one terminal to the other. I'm going to switch it from the ground pin, and I'm going to put it right there. And let's see if it notices any difference. All right, that's connected to the boost, I think. Little change. You can see it. I'm going to go on and off, on and off, on and off. See the difference? So definitely better off. Here's the ground. If this is grounded, on and off. Grounded, off, grounded, off. I think it's better off. Certainly better than hooked there. So let's put it on the floating pin. I think that's better. Better focus. Yeah, much better. Now you've got the aliasing. You can see the aliasing a lot clearer now. So it's a lot cleaner. This is the local distance switch right here. And I'm going to spray this with deoxit and work the switch a bunch. And then these connections here on the antenna are really bad to go to get oxidized. And so what I'm going to do is spray them and then take a brass brush and get around behind the cameraman here. And I'm going to polish those connections. Oh yeah, that helped. Okay, that fits nice and snug. That's what I'm going to make sure. That one definitely does. This one's loose. So let's crush this one just a little bit. Okay. There we go. Nice and tight. And then the screw heads underneath on the back side also are bad to go get corroded. Along with these terminals get oxidized, and they, since we're dealing with super low levels, about 500 millivolts or less, actually less than that with at the antenna signal level. So let's get those. All right, and now let's see what the picture looks like, if it's any better. And in the old days, we would, us kids were required to move around the room until the picture was clear, and then we just had to stand there while Dad watched the Westerns. Actually, that's not true, but I've heard tell of people saying that. They send the kids to stand over to next to the television until the signal's just right. And now you notice we aligned it correctly with the signal generator, but the set, we've got an issue here with the scan not square. Let me say one more thing here, and then we're going to talk about this. It's going to take me several hours to, take me some time to get this cleaned up. I want you to see what this looks like with the new tube. There you go. So, the new tube definitely improved the quality of the picture, and the brightness, no question about it. But we've got to get this cover cleaned up. I've got to get it. See, when I get it right up against where it's supposed to be, and it's still not there yet. I'm going to get it right up against the glass. And when I get it right up against the glass, it helps a little bit. But we definitely need to get that clean. So the goal will be to polish this with car wax, is what I've been told, turtle wax, until I get all of that film off, and then we'll put that back on. So that's what my next project is, and I'll follow up with a video when I get that finished. This old TV show is playing in 4:3. Okay, well, we fiddled with it a little bit. Remember, we had some hum bars and some noise in the picture, and I finally did a direct connect to the over-the-air tuner, and bypassed the over-the-air mini television stations to eliminate any noise in the room and over the airwaves. And this is what we ended up with. You can see, and
Well, think about it. Did I mention that GSM just installed a brand new heating and cooling system?
We'll take it.
I'm going to keep the volume down just so I don't get flags on the YouTube. But we'll just scroll through some of the channels here.
With your coffee. Oh, where you come from?
So very pleased with the quality of the picture. About as good as you're going to see on a 21-inch. You do see the scan lines, and that's pretty common. I can soften them up with the contrast, or I can intensify them. See, I can crank the contrast up, and you get higher scan lines. But if I put it about right there, not too bad. Screen brightness is turned down quite a bit. That's full brightness right there. And comfortable viewing probably about there. So anyway, very encouraged by the quality of the set and picture tube. And you can just see for black and white 21-inch, 1958. So 60 years old and counting. Not a bad result. Brand new picture tube. Been sitting in storage for 60 years. Again, thanks for watching. Alright, as promised, I told you I would try to let you see the polishing and cleaning of this TV lens. Pretty bad shape, but using this car wax, it's cleaning up pretty good, pretty well. You can see the film, probably. Yeah, there you go. See the film that's got to come off. So polishing it with this turtle wax seems to be doing the job. I'll let you see the finished product, but you can tell the difference that it's making. So we'll see what the finished product looks on the television. Alrighty, I think I'm finished here. Pretty big difference. A little bit of haze right in there I need to clear up. But big difference. Big difference. Happens to be one of my favorite movies of all time. Creature of the Black Lagoon. So here we go. How does that look? Not too shabby. So it dims it a little bit, but not too bad. Great picture.
Like the pros, with a drill and a crate jig to build any wood project. Bookcases, storage systems, picture frames, and much more.